Cyberpunk, it had its event. They spent a lot of time showing off one singular aspect. Let's go. Will you walk us through that again real quick, TIE Fighter?
Yes.
And then let's get your thoughts and first impressions.
So this is kind of our first look at Cyberpunk 2077 in a while. I was lucky enough to get into kind of the behind the curtain demo at E3 2019. So I've had the chance to see what gameplay looks like, and I was excited for them to show some of that demo as a part of their Night City Wire, which was the first of what apparently is going to be a number of them before the game releases now in November. And they had the opportunity to show us what the open world was going to be or what missions were going to look like. But instead, they actually spent a lot of time looking at a mechanic that exists in some missions called brain dancing.
Yeah. Is that what it was? Is that what it was called?
Brain dancing.
I know they
it
called
took me a while to
BD,
figure
right?
it out.
BD,
yeah.
BD.
But I could swear they were saying break dancing.
And Mark,
for
it's
a
towards
while.
the end.
It's towards the end.
It's like
on
the
back
whole
half.
end. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's before that.
Yeah, it's before that.
I'm looking
There
at
you
it.
go.
Yeah,
Just- there it is.
and this is so fascinating.
So basically, what it is, if you remember the detective scenes from the Arkham series as Batman, you are living someone's memory and then using the power of your cybernetic implants to fast forward, rewind, scan, and learn more about the environment around which this person was experiencing something. And then from that, you can learn about their death or learn about something that happened there while they were there. They spent a very long time covering these mechanics. And, personally, I'm kind of interested in playing the game. And I guess that it's kind of weird for me to say that because, this is playing the game. But I don't know. To me, this kind of seemed a little slow, a little...
Well, it was like a niche. It was showing off just one specific feature. And
they spent a lot. Okay, that's a good way to say it.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of time talking about this one very specific mechanic that I think is going to end up being not super consequential to my overall experience.
It seems like a lore mechanic.
Yeah.
Like deep lore.
They said specifically that this is going to be built into the game in a way where it's gonna be appearing quite often.
good.
This is.
I know they talked about like it being missions and figuring out different things from missions. It felt like lore, like we're learning about people who we're working with and stuff like that.
Did you ever play The Witcher 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So these guys are very story driven,
Sure.
and I think because of that mindset, that's why we're seeing how much detail they're putting into each story they're telling, and I feel as though this is like this is kind of showcasing how much detail they're putting into even just a scene where a guy goes in and robs a store.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I feel as though that maybe that was their mindset going in and showcasing this in the way that they did.
Yeah.
I think I might end up caring a lot more about it if I know who it is I'm investigating.
sure.
One thing
For
that
sure.
they didn't do a very good job of is making me give, any sort of worry about who it is I'm interacting with. Like, why am I investigating this guy? Why am I worried about his memory? You're investigating the man who's robbing the store currently. We're investigating his death because he actually dies at the end of this scene. And we're investigating why he died and who killed him. But I don't know him. I don't know the clerk. I don't know the person who pulled the trigger. So I don't have any context surrounding this.
Not
And
only
I think if I came in with a better understanding of my purpose for looking this, my motivation for trying to figure this out, I would feel better.
Yeah,
about
exactly. Not only that, but we don't know how this is fitting into the game mechanics
Right.
themselves.
We do know that there was sabotage involved, which is
Saboteur.
that's important in a conflict story.
This is true. This
So-
is true. My first impressions of it, I really liked the couple second clips that we got at the beginning and in between. Even I'm sorry, what was the name of this again? The BD.
Cyberpunk 2077.
The BD.
it. Brain dancing.
Brain dancing.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
Sounds
yeah.
like mind blowjob, but it's a brain dance.
MBJ.
I really liked the glimpses of the world, and I think that's what the most interesting part of Cyberpunk to me. The big draw, the hype around Cyberpunk is this crazy cool world, this highly detailed,
Yep.
highly ambitious open world that they've promised us, right? That they're talking about. They did show part of it. They showed the Badlands, which was my favorite part again of this show. I like that there's this contrast between this dark tech, hyper tech city that you're in, and then you go out to the surrounding desert,
Right.
and it looks destitute. They call it the Badlands. That was very interesting to me. I also liked seeing some of the first person combat, the driving, the shooting.
Isn't
That
the
all
car
looked-
cool?
Dude, that car. all the
that's
cars.
an icon.
Even,
That's going to be an iconic car, just like the Batmobile, just like the Back to the Future. That's going to be a car.
all the cars. Even the car, it's a different car when they're out in the Badlands, and even that car's like, oh, well, I'm sure that's a piece of crap in this game, but that car looks badass, right? Like,
And I'm going to be having a trench coat, have the biggest collar pop you've ever
look at
seen
you,
in your
yeah.
life.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It looks really cool world wise. That's why I don't think this hit, and I think a lot of people probably feel the same way I do, and this brain dance
Nice
just didn't feel. I mean, it's a really cool feature, I'm sure, in the game. But what I really want to see is the world and how it really interacts. And this did make me more excited, though, even those small glimpses.
No, I actually really enjoyed this. But I enjoy playing my game slow.
You are a total.
I'm a slow guy.
You're a detail guy.
Yeah, I'm a detail guy, and so I would spend time going through these videos and checking the corners and looking at
What else
this.
can I
and-
find?
So this appealed to me a lot. I thought this was really
Well,
fascinating.
I think it could be a really cool mechanic, but like TIE Fighter said, I just don't know context.
Right. Yeah, and it's important to understand this isn't the only Night City wire that we're going to get. They've mentioned that they're going to have another episode probably by late July or early August, and then at least one more before the game releases. So this is only the tip of the iceberg. I mean, even if you weren't blown away by brain dancing or driving out in the Outlands, that's okay. I think we're absolutely going to get an episode where they're going to dive into what it looks like to run a quest, what it looks like to have different abilities or different implants in your body. And then we're going to learn a lot more about that. So just because this one wasn't a banger as far as what gameplay looks like, I still think that there's a lot to learn between now and when.
Overall, I think regardless, they could show us in-game poop, and we would be really
it's
excited
CD
for this
Projekt
game.
Red.
would,
they've
yeah.
really earned our trust.
Yeah,
at this point,
right.
so
I mean, they
we'll
really
see.
they really have.